I'm curious about you and your history of, cooking and how you got into it and all that kind of stuff and your influences.
So, my grandfather, is, John Swan.
Okay.
He's a chef. Well, he was a chef. He still cooks on the side, but he was an influence on me when I was younger. I never cooked.
Oh, really? Like not growing up, nothing?
I was more so into the streets.
Okay.
So, that's what I did.
Yeah. Are you from here?
Yeah, I'm from Syracuse.
Okay.
Born and raised. So then, we found out that he had pancreas cancer. So he was like, yo, you should go to culinary school. So he was in my ear for months talking about it. I was like, you know what, let's give it a try. My first couple of weeks of culinary school, I start packing my bags. Like, I can't do this.
Where'd you go?
I went to Job Corps. So
Okay.
it wasn't really like a top culinary school.
Yeah.
I taught myself, working in different restaurants, moving around.
Yeah.
So then, yeah. So we found out that he had pancreas cancer. They ended up catching it, and, nothing happened.
Early?
Yeah.
That's good.
So by then, I still didn't like it.
Yeah.
So, like, in 2007, I went in 2014, mind you. Graduated 2015. So by 2017, that's when I start really taking it serious.
Yeah.
And it was a gift.
Mm-hmm.
That was basically built in me. I just had to find ways to let it out.
Yeah. So he cooked when you were growing up. Was he like just at home, or was he cook?
No, he was on cruise ships. Like,
oh, damn.
He worked like he was the top chef of his class.
Wow.
He went to the top culinary school.
Yeah. Those cruise ship jobs are no joke.
Yeah, he said that's all he did was that. And then he became a truck driver. So I was always on the truck with him then. Still doing this. So I just finally said, you know what, let me just try something new.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with cooking. And ever since then, 8, 9 years later,
Yeah.
I'm still doing it.
There's something really fun about it, and it's also a pain in the ass. It's like I don't know. It is one of those like sick obsessions where it demands a hell of a lot, like physically and mentally, and if you've got a family, it demands a hell of a lot of your time.
It's draining sometimes.
Oh, for sure. But there is something about cooking food for other people that then, especially nowadays with social, you see them post about it. Actually what led me to reach out to you when I did was I saw the Where Syracuse, somebody, blew you guys up in a good way on Where Syracuse Eats. And I was like, man, I've been seeing his name a lot lately on Facebook and on Instagram, people posting about it. And, obviously I've seen you around over the summer. And I was like, all right, I'm going to reach out to him and get him on the podcast. But there is something really motivating about cooking food for somebody and then seeing them post about it online and talk about how great it was. It's a really good feeling.
It definitely is. Because people who've been around me, who watched me grow with cooking, can tell you that I bust my ass to get where I am today. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It was closed doors in my face that led me to just start doing my own thing. People will, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, despise themselves as something that they're not. So they do all the talking, but can't back it up. I had a lot of people in my, that did that.
Yeah.
That didn't keep their word. So, I met 2 people, Chris Little and Kevin Little. So I've been on a food truck with them for a whole year. So, being around them, it's still good people out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially this industry, because, anybody can get into it, and it can be like kind of a transition thing, career transition job for some people. Some people get into it with money and think like, oh, I can go make money in a restaurant, and they have no business being in the restaurant industry. And yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for 8 years on this side of things, and I mean, it's amazing how many like shitty people I've ran into, like early on too. I had this dude that early on, I'll never forget this. Like I put a posting out there to try and hire a salesman, and because I'm good at sales, but I hate it. And this guy reached out and he was like, "Oh, I can create this whole pitch deck for you, and then from there, whatever, promise me all this stuff." And I was like, "All right, that's cool. Like, yeah, I'll pay you to do that." Wound up being a complete waste of money because all he did was like create this pitch deck. And he was like, "All right, there you go. Have fun." I was like, "Dude, I could have fucking done that." I thought you were gonna go out there and actually like take the pitch deck and then go sell. He was like, "No, I was just creating the deck for you."
Now you gotta go do the work.
Yeah, or find somebody to do it. And then like 2 weeks later, I get a call from my parents at their house, and they're like, "So, do you know anybody by this name?" And it was that dude. I forget his name now, but I was like, "Yeah, why?" They're like, "The U.S. Marshals are at our house looking for him." I was like, "What the fuck?"
What?
This dude had warrants like in Texas that he had skipped out on or something. And the fucking U.S. Marshal was showing up to my parents' house looking for this guy. I was like, Jesus Christ. So early on, I realized, even though, my dad was always in the industry, so he always tell me the shit. But early on, I was like, fuck, man, there are people out there in this that, there's no way to fucking vet them. You just got to learn the hard way. That happens too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your first job getting out of, school for it?
I had so many jobs. I want to say Denny's.
Okay.
Yeah, Denny's was my first job.
That was my first cooking job too.
On Ear Boulevard.
I was on West Genesee Street.
Oh, it's now Burger King now.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that new one.
That was my first job. Worked there for like 2 years.
Okay.
And then eventually I branched off and did something else.
Yeah.
I was like in between like retail and cooking still.
Okay.
So I didn't fully go into cooking until probably like 2018 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like working at Denny's? Like cooking there?
It opened my eyes.
Yeah.
I got stuck there one night. So I was there from the afternoon till the next day at 5 a.m. because somebody didn't show up for their shift.
Yeah.
And it was probably like 4 or 5 concerts in Syracuse that night.
Damn.
So you know what?
That was like one of the only 24/7 places.
And it was on. That's where you can go get breakfast all the time,
Yeah.
right? So I got my back turned, and I'm cooking one dish. It's one person in there. I literally turned back around, and I got like 10 screens in of food. So by 5 o'clock in the morning, I was supposed to be gone by 10 o'clock. The day before. I wasn't even supposed to be there at this moment. Well, unfortunately, I had to stay because somebody didn't show up.
Yeah.
And they put a manager on duty that didn't know how to cook. So it's just me back there. So now I got to put my Batman cape on.
Yeah.
Now I got to show them what I'm really about. So by 5 o'clock, we run out of all food. So we called a GM. He comes in. I was supposed to work that day. I told him, bro, I'm not coming in.
Yeah.
Like, I just worked like 20 hours. I'm beat. We don't got no food.
That's funny.
Nah.
That's crazy.
Dude didn't show up.
Yeah.
Like, and then I end up seeing the guy like a few weeks later out and about. He's smiling at me. I'm like, dude, there's nothing to be smiling about right now. He's like, I'm like, bro, you should have called somebody. Like, it's not. I'm not even in a laughing matter no more.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a joke.
Yeah.
Like, if you knew what went on that night, you wouldn't be laughing right now.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So I just walked past them and just left it alone. But I was mad.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That was my first job out of high school. Was I cooked third shift at Denny's. I applied for the job, and I applied for a job as a waiter. And the manager was like, "You seem like you're more of a kitchen person."
Yeah, like I don't want to be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I cooked. I did it for like 4 or 5 months and saved up enough money to move to. I moved to Ohio for a couple of years, and yeah, I cooked third shift there. And that was my first, aside from like being next to my dad at home or mom when they were cooking, or when I was real little, my parents had a diner for like a year. So that, but aside from that, I'd never cooked in a restaurant kitchen before. So yeah, it was fun. Third shift was, I realized really quickly coming off third shift at like 6 a.m. If you don't go to sleep in those first like 2 hours, you're awake the rest of the day. You can't like go home after working third shift and hang out for like 3 or 4 hours and then go to sleep at your leisure. You either hit the bed right away or you're just awake for another day. And yeah, but back then, and that was like, they'd have like cops there on weekends all night and all that shit. And
It's crazy.
we had a waitress break a coffee pot over like some dude's head once. It was, it was crazy. That was one of the rougher Denny's locations for third shift. I can't imagine what it's like now, because really the only third shift places, I'm assuming Denny's still are, but there's the one on Carrier Circle, and I think that's the only one, right?
No, you got 7th North too.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the one in Mattydale.
But
Yeah.
they ain't good no more.
Yeah, that third shift business, there really
I
isn't
just get
anything.
breakfast. Like
Yeah.
you don't really like. I'm saying that's all you. That's good.
Right.
Is breakfast. Don't get nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not
Go
going
there.
there for a nice
You're not.
dinner. Hey, honey, it's Friday night. Let's go to Denny's.
No, this is like we can cook this at the house, but let's just go here and get it already done.
Yeah.
Give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, so Denny's, and then, so where were you right before you got hooked up with the Littles?
I was actually at Dinosaur Barbecue.
Oh, were you? How long were you there for?
But I was only there temporary.
Okay.
I was waiting for the restaurant to get done.
Yeah.
So I didn't have no plan and to even stay there.
Yeah.
It was just something to put some money in my pocket and
Yeah.
wait for that to be done.
How'd you like it there? Didn't like it.
It was garbage.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's not for me.
That's wild. What about it? I'm curious because
It's lunch. It's literally just like adult luncheon. Everything on trays.
Yeah.
I'm used to cooking from scratch and plating.
Yeah.
Not saying that I'm bigger than anybody.
Right.
But it just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Yeah, barbecue like that is a lot of scoop and serve, right? I mean, you get prepped up and then...
I'm saying everything was already prepped.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So when we came in,
Oh, yeah.
Or I was on either grill, which was everything was already done. You just searing it and,
Yeah.
But like I said, it just...
Yeah. We had a guy at Limp Lizard who, in North Syracuse, who we hired. They hired back in December of last year. And I only say we because we had Through and Fried in there for a little bit. And so he came from Dinosaur. He had been there. He had worked there for like 15 years or something. And he's like a 30-year, line cook vet in Syracuse. And I lived in Austin for a few years, or near Austin. So like the appreciation for barbecue coming from out there, where everybody's using a stick smoker. Nobody is using or hardly anybody is using, like the gas assist, like Dinosaur or Limp Lizard, most of them use around here, which I know a lot of people say you can't really, they're like, I don't know. A lot of people say you can't taste the difference, but I think there's something that to be said for like the passion and like the dedication,
They do got some good mac and cheese though.
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
I think Dinosaur, Miss Prissy's is up there for me, and Angry Smokehouse is up there for me. But I think Dinosaur is definitely, if I had to list the top 3, I'd probably say it's those 3.
Yeah.
From what I've had. Yeah, they do crush that.
I wonder if she's open today.
Who, Miss Prissy? Yeah, I think she is. I think Tuesdays are the days that she's closed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. Her fish with the mac and cheese.
I was just talking to her. I was supposed to have a meeting with her too, but we had 2 break-ins at the restaurant.
Oh, damn.
So it's been kind of busy for myself.
Damn, they get anything?
Yeah.
No, that sucks.
We got some money, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Won't stop us.
Yeah. We I was thinking about moving the studio here to Eastwood. And I still might. I'm going to look at a place, but because I want to build out, I want to have the place in Eastwood's like 4 times as big as this. Mm-hmm. And so I want to have like set up like a kitchen to do like cooking shows, like bring different chefs and cooks in Syracuse and do like different cooking shows each week. And I can't do that here. But Eastwood gets a lot of break-ins, a lot of break-ins. Mostly kids, it's nothing serious, but it's like break a window here, break a window there,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So what's it been like, being on the food truck and now you're in the kitchen for the winter, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So what's that like over there?
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it. This is like I'm there 6 days a week.
Damn.
My days off is Sundays and Mondays.
Okay.
I sleep in.
Yeah.
I may go by the shop on Sundays, but not too often.
Yeah. Is this your first thing of having like full control?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I've been head chefs, in other restaurants, but
Okay.
like I said, they say something. They say one thing.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
act totally different the next the next time. So
Yeah. Bring your recipes in. It's your menu. Yeah, and then
so now, I got full control of my menu. I buy all my groceries.
that's cool.
I can say we don't work for each other. We work together.
That's good.
We lost a big piece to the truck last year.
Yeah.
Brian Little. So, we dedicated this year to him.
That's awesome.
So
It was a good year, right?
yeah, this is all for him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He was supposed to be next to me on the truck. He was supposed to be next to me in the restaurant. So it's sad, So, like I said, we dedicated this all for him.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it was I feel like you guys just really took off this year, and seeing you guys everywhere and good food, lots of great reviews out there. And over the course of everything, especially those wings. I don't know, I forget what that sauce was that he brought me over at the Battle of the Wings. He's like, you got to try these.
The everything wings.
Oof, man, those are good.
Yeah, so I created those wings back in, it was years ago.
Yeah.
So I only seen like one place doing it, and that was like, I want to say, the casino. I don't know what casino it was, but it was one casino that was doing them. So I went in the back. I was working at a pizza spot back then. I went in the back on my break, smoked a little weed, came back. Sorry, I don't know.
No, you're good. Okay. And say do whatever you want on this thing.
And came back and put a couple sauces together and put a couple, this and that on there. And it was one of our top sellers. Like, I'm talking about 200 at a time.
Damn.
Was being sold.
Wow.
And, yeah, That's how it all started.
Yeah. Those like signature wing sauces for places they can make a place, man. I mean, look at Shifty's and the Frankenstein.
I make a vat of it, and it's gone within a couple days. Like, we make homemade blue cheese.
Damn.
Like, that's wings and homemade blue cheese is the perfect match.
Huh. Yeah.
You can't have no in the container blue cheese already. It has to be homemade.
I won't out the place, but you know, it's getting expensive to go out to eat nowadays, right? And so, I mean, it's stupid expensive. So my wife and I we used to get pizza every Friday, and now I make it at home. And I hate to say it, but you know, I make a. No, I won't say that because I'll out the people if I say that. But it's good. It's good fucking pizza. I make it at home. Anyways, this past Friday, I had a gift card, so we ordered from this place. It was $60. Granted, like 15 of that was like tip and delivery, but still $60 to get a large pizza and an order of wings delivered on a Friday night. And the wings sucked. I mean, usually they're good, but they're supposed to be wet. They were bone dry. The seasoning was burnt on them. And then it was like a thing of Ken's blue cheese, you know? And even like the pizza, like I'm eating the pizza and I was like, it's like, I've made pizza at home like a dozen times and I make a better pizza than this. It was so disappointing, you know? So yeah, making your own blue cheese that's like a pro move, man. Not a lot of people do that around here either. Yeah.
We take pride in everything that we do at West End.
Yeah. So who instilled that in you? Like where did you pick that stuff up? You know, like trying to get creative and do something original and then like going above and beyond to like make your own blue cheese.
So I don't make the blue cheese. Kevin makes the blue cheese.
Oh, does he? Okay.
But I can say that the creations come from 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
When I wake up. And just, you know, being around Syracuse, everything's the same. Mm-hmm. So being a chef, you have to be creative. You can't call yourself a chef if you're not creative. Mm-hmm. If you're coming up with the same thing, who's gonna keep tabs on you?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be known as doing the same thing. So, you know, me personally, I like to be different.
That's good.
You know, I can plate. I can make a pizza. It may take a little time for the pizza. I want to say I'm good in pizza, but I can. If you give me time, I can make a good pie.
Yeah.
But wings, I can make some good wing sauce. And other food too, but you know, my wings is like my signature.
Okay.
That and my pasta.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen a couple things online about that. Is there some Cajun pasta? Am I dreaming that up?
It can be.
Yeah.
It can be. I was thinking about that this morning, actually, at 2:00.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Doing I did a Cajun sausage and the Cajun sausage Alfredo.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a few months back, sold out. And then I just recently did a chicken Alfredo, sold out both nights.
That's awesome. Yeah, we don't have any like really great Cajun food in Syracuse at all that I know of. There was what was the name of that place? The one Creole place. It was on Jefferson Street, and then they moved out to East Syracuse.
Oh, I know you're talking about. They were in the mall.
Yeah.
Creole.
Yes. Yeah.
I knew the owner.
Darren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Met him a couple of times because I used to work at Stone Farm Fresh.
Okay.
It was in Shopping Town,
right
next door to him.
Yeah.
When he was there. Yeah, he was a good dude.
Yeah.
His food was good.
Yeah.
And then he just left and disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he's still in the area or not. I know because he got started in construction, like that's how he made money. And then the restaurant, I think, was like the side thing. But he had it up for a number of years for it being, you know, kind of the side hustle.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only place to get, you know, Creole or, you know, food like that around Syracuse. Yeah. What do you think about like the current landscape of like restaurants in Syracuse and like the type of food that's available?
Food is overpriced.
Yeah.
It's not all that good. So I'd rather just cook my own food, for that. And we don't have no late night spots. Like we were just talking about Denny's. That's the only late night spot you got.
Yeah.
You may got SU. I mean, not SU. SU area.
Yeah.
But they close at what, 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
You got down here. You got CSP. You got Three Lives.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of places that that's open with good food.
Yeah, for sure.
So my hours is 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Damn.
And then 1 o'clock on Fridays.
Wow.
So we're open.
Wow.
And then 10 o'clock on Thursdays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, that's late, man. Most places on weekends, they're shut down at like 8 or 9 o'clock, or weekdays, rather.
Nope.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You want some good food? We're open.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I'd love to see, I mean there's a lot of things I'd like to see different in the food scene in Syracuse. And one of the things I was just talking with Chef Rich from Eden in last week's episode about like because I see this in Rochester and Buffalo a little bit and then other cities I've just seen online. But you have a restaurant that opens up where it's like, hey, they're hyper focused on this thing, and they are the best at it, but that's all they do. They're not trying to do like 1,000 different things on their menu. They're trying to do like, hey, listen, I'm going to focus in on like there's this dude in Rochester, Peels on Wheels. He makes 4 styles of pizza, and he's a master at those 4 styles. And talking to him about how he's developed his dough and all that kind of stuff, it's crazy. It's like you're talking to a scientist or something. I mean, because he's that dedicated about like trying to figure out the best way to make these 4 styles of pizza. I'd love to see something that pops up where it's like, hey, we're going to do this one thing and we're going to do it really, really well. And I'd love to see like a legit Italian deli because we don't have like a legit like New York City style Italian deli up here, but I get it is tough because you're trying to figure out like, hey, what's going to make money? What's going to pay my bills and what am I passionate about at the same time?
Yeah.
If you're lucky, those 2 things are the same, but that's not always the case, Yeah. So what's your favorite thing to do in the kitchen? Is it like coming up with the recipes? Is it working the line?
I just like being in the kitchen. That's a passion I have.
Yeah.
I don't care what I'm doing in the kitchen. As long as I'm in the kitchen, cooking, that's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I was working over the summer doing we had this like 20-person catering thing up there. Not catering, but it was like 20. It was like this group of people. It was like 25 people coming in all at the same time. And I was up there. It was, July like 15th or something like that. So it was 108 degrees on the line. And I was doing it myself. And I was like, there's like sweat dripping off the brim of my hat. I'm like, this is fucking tough, but there is something weirdly like addicting about that.
It is.
Yeah.
Because I know at certain times when I'm in the kitchen, like I done worked like in many restaurants. Like I was the lead line cook at Oh My Darling.
Oh, really?
I was the head chef at it's now Lima Range, but it was Stoop Kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
I was after Mike.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
What was that? What was it like being at Stoop?
it was good.
Yeah.
My sister worked there, so it was kind of like she wanted me to come there.
Yeah.
So I ended up going there. I guess he was training me because he was leaving. So I ended up becoming the head chef and being on the side of this guy named Caleb, which was their sous chef.
Okay.
So we took it over, and we just kept it alive. It was a lot.
Yeah.
We had to fire our whole lunch crew because we just kept getting calls like, We got tired of it. So we was like, we might as well just live there. So we built a cot upstairs.
Really?
And we just slept there. It was, I tell you, I wouldn't go back.
Yeah.
Not go back.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't sound like
long
fun.
hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you're getting paid for it.
Not enough.
Yeah. Not to sleep there.
Not enough.
Yeah. What was it like at Oh My Darling?
I help open it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure the year that it opened, but you know, I helped put together that kitchen.
Yeah.
Come up with the menu with Jaden. Mm-hmm. It was good working beside him. Then I ended up leaving to go get a new job, and I came back, and he rehired me. And then I left again.
Okay.
Things just got different. It was different
Yeah.
versus when we first started. You know, they were, I wouldn't bad talk them, but they were just hiring random people off the streets. Like, that we can't.
Yeah.
You know, got Joe Smo over here doing his thing outside. You know, so yeah. So it was different, you know. But it was fun opening up a restaurant.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Coming up with different things. You know, we had a soft opening on what day was that? Green Beard Day.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
We got slammed.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it was fun. Like I'm on YouTube with Jaden. Me and Jaden side by side. He was doing the burger, and I think I was prepping for something else. But being in that situation was great for me. So
That was a good burger.
it was that goat cheese.
Yeah, that's a really good burger.
It definitely was. That was one of my favorite burgers to cook every night and take home.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would just fry me up a goat cheese croquette and just eat it just like that.
Yeah.
Especially with that bacon jam.
Oh,
Bacon
yeah.
jam was good too.
How do you do that? So what do? You make the goat cheese cylinder, bread it, and then freeze it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just dip it in egg and batter and just deep fry it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I've always wondered about that, like keeping it together.
So it was like a puck.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good burger. Really good burger. I mean, back when you guys first opened it, I love Ryan and Leanne, and you know, I don't think they listen to the podcast, but I feel granted, I haven't been there in like a year, but there was a time before COVID, it was like the shit. I mean, that was like the best burger. That goat cheese croquette like filled the whole bun. It was a phenomenal burger. And then I went after COVID one time, and like that croquette was like, you know, that big. You know, the burger's like that big, and I was like, you know, things have changed.
It definitely changed.
Yeah, that's tough. That's got to be tough. I've never ran or been part of a restaurant that has like a lot of turnover, you know, and especially kept the same menu during that turnover. So that's got to be tough to like bring somebody new in and say like, hey, this is exactly, you know, try to get them to do it exactly the same way. Because especially if you're, for most people, I'd imagine, if you're like a chef or a head line cook, you're bringing your own level of creativity to something, you know. It's got to be hard to be like, hey, I need you to do it exactly like A, B, C, and D and not change it all when that person has their own level of creativity, you know.
And that was Jaden. Jaden started that.
Yeah.
So he had high expectations on food. And then he ended up leaving. That's why the food went down.
Yeah. Was he the one that was the CIA grad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd he go? Do you know?
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be tough, man. I've been doing this 8 years now, and mostly here in Syracuse. It's tough. You see a lot of good talent leave the area and go to other places. Some of them just get burned out, so they go to like the casinos, you know, because it's not necessarily creative, but it's a great paying job, and you know you get treated like a regular person instead of a line cook, you know. Yeah, it can be tough for sure in this town.
Yeah.
So what was around when you were growing up? Like what restaurants and that kind of stuff?
See, I grew up Ponderosa.
The one in Mattydale?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the part of town you grew up in?
No, I grew up on the east side of Syracuse,
Okay.
but that was one of our family spots that we all, it was a buffet.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to go to a buffet where you can eat everything
Yeah.
for one price?
They had oddly decent wings there. They were pretty good.
I had everything.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't have was seafood because I was allergic to it.
Okay.
But everything else, I had my plate indulged in it.
Okay.
What other place? It was that place that was in the mall, Carousel, or not? Yeah, Carousel downstairs.
Oh, the
Kahunaville.
yeah, Kahunaville was awesome.
Kahunaville was another spot that I like going to. As soon as you walk in, you got the two little things talking to you. Their food was actually good
Yeah, that place was
for
awesome.
what it was. It wasn't. You can go there and it wasn't a lot of money either.
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Because my mom used to take me. So it would be me, her, and my sister. Our bill was probably, like $70?
Yeah.
It wasn't for 3 people?
Yeah.
And I don't even think it was $70. I think I'm lying. But, it was good food for cheap.
Yeah. Shit's expensive. I'm going to pull up this text. Now, you said talking about that. My buddy, Bud, sent me this text the other day. And he said $1,000 5 years ago is like $700 today. And that's just 5 years ago. I mean, back in the early 2000s when Kahunaville was open, I mean, dear God. Yeah. Yeah, that place. I remember that place. It was great. And then I think the next thing after it went out was that glow-in-the-dark mini golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think they moved.
Yeah.
But back like 6 years ago, it was, even when Shopping Town was open, it was it was good food in there.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the best, but
Yeah.
we had some good restaurants in that mall to go to. Everything just changed.
Yeah. What do you think is if you could put your finger on one thing and say, if I could choose whether you own it, work in it, or you just want to see it open so you can enjoy it, there's one type of restaurant or one specific food that you'd like to see in Syracuse, what would it be?
I wouldn't say it's food, but I would have to go with Discovery Zone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not food, but I have to go with Discovery Zone.
Yeah, man, the DZ.
That was the spot.
Yeah, that was.
That was the spot. Oh no, hold on. I take that back. There was another place in Shopping Town Mall too. That game spot. The laser tag.
Oh yeah, it had like the vault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you can like see through.
Yeah.
That was another spot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say too much food that I liked back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like I said this. What did I say? I just said it.
Ponderosa.
Yeah, Ponderosa and Kahunaville.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those was like my kid spots when I was growing up.
Yeah. So where do you get your inspiration for your food today? Is it just kind of like trial and error in the kitchen, or are you going on the internet and seeing what's out there and then?
No, I come up with my own dishes in my head.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I sit there and smoke a joint, and
Yeah.
that's when my brain open up.
Yeah. I take edibles every night, and I take them to go to sleep, because like one thing with like working in the kitchen, especially, I can't before I take an edible, I can't go to sleep unless I'm like exhausted.
I have trouble like that too.
Yeah. Before that, I used to be able to like lay in bed. Oh, I'll lay here for 10 minutes. I'll eventually fall asleep. Now, it doesn't happen. So the gummies help me just, I pop a gummy, sit on TikTok for 15 minutes, and then if I have too much, I'm giggling and going to sleep, or I'm just going to sleep. But I was going to head down to Flintstone at some point this week and just, because I don't know enough about it, and just ask them like what's something for creativity, you know? I was thinking about getting into mushrooms like a year and a half ago before we had our son. And because I've heard great things about that, you know, just helping you get more creative and kind of get out of your own self. And then as I was talking to people about that, if there was more than a few people that were like, "Oh yeah, we take mushrooms all the time," and I was like, "Well, you're not a very creative person, so maybe it's not going to have the effect that I want it to."
It all depends on the type of person you are.
Yeah,
So like whatever your mood is that's how
that's how it's going to hit you.
it's gonna hit you.
Yeah,
I'm good on it.
yeah,
I'm good.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's maybe one day I might try it, you know, as our son's older and I don't have to worry about like, you know, that kind of stuff. But
Take a little piece.
yeah, just start with it. Yeah, because they have like those microdose chocolates and shit, you know. Yeah. Because I'm curious, like what creativity is there that like, you know, you could tap into inside yourself, like your subconscious when you're like, you know, really high, that you're just not going to get when you're sitting here thinking about responsibilities and time and all that kind of stuff, you know? And I think it's a huge part of like cooking and coming up with stuff in a kitchen and for a restaurant, you know? So what do you guys got planned next down there?
Finish the season up. Well, just continue to be open until after winter time.
Yeah.
And then get back in the truck.
Yeah.
Get back in the truck. We got some a big surprise.
Oh yeah.
Can't say it too. We can't say it, but we got a big surprise.
All right. For the truck?
Yeah, for the truck.
Okay, cool.
And like I said, I'm happy to be a part of this. It's all new.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a year since I've been with them on the truck. And it's been great.
That's cool. Yeah. I know we're going to reach out for Harvey's Garden because we've got, we're planning like, we've got all next year's events planned and one of them Cinco de Mayo. Mm-hmm. And I know we had you guys there last year, but we want to make it bigger this year. Okay. So, yeah. Well, cool. Well, tell everybody where they can find you and where they can get your food.
1205 Erie Boulevard West. We're open Tuesday through Sunday. Tuesdays is 11 a.m. till 8. And Wednesdays and Thursdays, noon to 10. And Fridays is 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. And Saturdays, between like 4 or 5 p.m. till 2 in the morning.
Cool.
And then Sunday, 11 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Awesome. Yeah.
And
what's the name of the place?
Weston Kitchen and Catering.
Awesome. All right, man. Thank you, Chef. Appreciate it.
And this is Chef Royce.
Yeah.